Hello everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video. I wanted to share a project with you that features some new products from Simon Says Stamp that were just released on a special promotion. Now I want to clarify that right now you can get the product that I'm using today, which is this birch tree background. You can get this stamp set and also any of the other products you see on screen right now at a special introductory price. This is for a limited time only. These products will be available for a very long time to come, but once this promotion has ended, which is for a limited time only, they will go back to their normal retail price. So if you're interested, you should definitely grab them while you can at their super discounted price. So I'm going to be using, like I said, this birch tree background, which is super pretty, and I want to do a distress watercoloring technique that is very simple and easy to recreate. You could actually make quite a few of these cards and it wouldn't take you a ton of time. I really love using distress inks to create a watercolor effect because it's simple and easy and something that anybody can do. So I have the background here. This is the birch tree background. It's a 6x6 cling stamp, and I'm going to stick this inside of my MISTI tool along with a sheet of watercolor paper. This watercolor paper is about 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so a standard A2 card size. And we're going to start stamping on this with distress inks. I've picked a few out, and initially I thought I was going to throw in a bit of teal, but I decided not to, so Evergreen Bough never got used. But I'm going to use the other 3 colors you see on screen, and Shaded Lilac is the one I started with first. So we're going to ink up our stamp with that Shaded Lilac, and we're really just sporadically stamping this across this stamp. I'm not trying to cover the entire thing. I want to create a watercolor effect without actually having to really do a lot of watercoloring. So I'm stamping this down, and you're going to see here it's very sporadic. There is not really a whole lot going on yet. But we're going to clean off our stamp and do it again, this time with a different color. I'm using Chipped Sapphire now, and again, just randomly stamping that onto the cling stamp. Stamp it down after spritzing with water. You always spritz with water before you stamp it to get those colors moving. So now we've got 2 colors on here. We're going to go for a third. This one is Dusty Concord. Again, sporadic placement, and then go ahead and spritz it with water before stamping it down, and that's going to help you blend all these colors together. We're creating a really cool look here. Now you'll see some spots that didn't stamp perfectly. I didn't press hard enough on that left side every time I stamped, but I'm going to go back in and fix that by just putting some of those distress inks on my craft sheet. This is a Simon glass mat, and I'm just going to fill those in with those same 2 colors, Chipped Sapphire and Dusty Concord. You don't have to do this perfectly. This is a very forgiving technique. Distress inks blend together so beautifully. So as you can see, I filled that in, and it doesn't even look like we ever had to do anything. All right, so I'm going to bring in some browns and grays now. We're going to fill in the birch trees. This part's fun because it's really loose and easy to do. I'm stamping these 4 colors, and I have them all listed below in the video description, as well as my blog if you're interested in the exact colors I used, along with everything else I'm using today in this project. I'm starting by creating a wash on each of these trees, leaving the right side of the trees almost white. I'm really fading that out as I go to the right, so that way it gives the sense of shading. And it also makes it look like there's some light shining on them. I'll use water to help me water things down a bit, and my cloth to dab up any extra color I don't want. Once I did the wash, then I came back in with those same colors and started creating just striations on the trees to create those same marks that you see on birch trees. And I used different colors to get a variegated look. So this looks really cool. I'm going to dry this to make sure it's completely dry before I start adding some other things. That included splatters. I used some of the same colors of distress inks to create just a light splattering across this background. It's a little bit of texture, and even though you don't see it much, it does add a little bit of interest. Now we're going to step up the snow effect by bringing in some shimmer mist. This is from Rudis Monroe. I really like this one, and it creates a really nice subtle shimmer. I also wanted to make sure to have some white snow splatters. So I'm going to bring in some white acrylic paint, mist a little water on it so that way it just gives it a chance to move a bit more easily. And then with a clear block, I'm going to splatter this across my background. This is a technique that Christina Werner likes to do a lot, and it's very simple and easy to allow you to get some nice splatter on your background. I'll link to Christina's channel in the video description and also on the top screen here. So now let's move on to creating a sentiment. I pulled out this Christmas Blessing stamp set, which Christina actually happened to design, and I'm going to stamp this onto some black cardstock and emboss it with silver. Using my heat tool, I'm going to heat the back side of my paper first and then bring it over to the front That helps me get a better embossed impression. I really like doing it this way. It also prevents my paper from warping too much. To embellish my card, I'm going to pull out this Snowflake Frame and Trio die set from Simon Says Stamp. I'm only using the Snowflake Trio though, not the frame. Those little snowflakes I die cut from white cardstock, and I'm putting glossy accents on top of them. That way I can sprinkle some distressed clear rock candy over top of that adhesive. I'll go back in and add a little bit more here and there if I feel like I didn't get enough coverage of that glitter, and I'll just reapply for all of the snowflakes in this trio. So all 3 got sparkled with the distressed clear rock candy glitter. All right, so now we're going to assemble everything. Our sentiment is going along the bottom right. I used the coordinating dies to cut that out. And then I'm gluing on my little snowflakes as a little trio across my card here. This ties in that snowflake background that we created by all that splattering. And I did put a few fairy jewels on top of each of the snowflakes just for a sparkle effect. So there you have it. A wonderful, beautifully watercolored card created so simply by doing some distress inking and using water and a paintbrush to add a little bit more extra flair here and there. Super simple and easy to do. I hope you were inspired. I hope to try it out. It's a fun technique. This tree background, the birch tree background from Simon Says Stamp, is a great background for this kind of technique. But don't forget, if you have other backgrounds that have this same reverse effect, you could totally do the same thing with those stamps too. So check out what you got in your stash too. I hope you enjoyed, friends. Definitely make sure you check out those doorbusters if you're interested. I have links below in the video description as well as on my blog. I'll be back soon with more inspiration to share with you all, but until then, I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye!